The EU and India are banding together to fight COVID-19, and I welcome India's role in tackling the virus both at the regional and global level, and their contribution to the research and manufacturing of a vaccine which should be available to all. We will cooperate to strengthen our health systems and ensure the WHO is effective. We agree that the economic and social recovery must be more sustainable, more resilient, and leave nobody behind. Keeping the global trading system open will play an important role. Efforts in the G20 and UN will also be vital. We welcome India's support for that relief as well. Today's meeting marked the 15th summit between India and the European Union. The EU is India's largest trade and investment partner, but India represents only about 2% of EU external trade. This is clearly an area that offers impressive potential for significant future growth. We agreed to enhance conditions for traders and investors. We called for ambitious climate and environmental action. The EU is a partner of India's sustainable modernization, including through investments by the European Investment Bank, over 4 billion euros. We will also work together to deploy digital technologies based on our shared values and global standards. We have just signed the Euratom-India agreement that boosts cooperation on research and development for peaceful nuclear energy. We welcome India's proposal to build a connectivity partnership that's open, sustainable and rules-based. The EU and India will further develop security and defence consultations and military contact. We will step up our cooperation to fight terrorism and cyber threats. Europol and its Indian counterpart will join forces to tackle organised crime. We will also work to reinforce maritime security, especially in the Indian Ocean, where 40% of our trade passes. And we will continue our dialogue on human rights. India will serve on the UN Security Council in 2021-2022 and assume the presidency of the G20 in 2022. The EU looks forward to working with India in these organizations and others to strengthen multilateralism and the rules-based international order. The EU and India are more than economic partners. We are political partners, committed to peaceful resolution of conflicts, security and rule of law. Today's meeting clearly showed that both the EU and India want a stronger strategic relationship for the future. The concrete commitments we made today reflect this strong and clear ambition. India can count on the European Union, and we count on India to be a key partner. I thank you.
Madam President.
Yes, thank you. Indeed, today our main message has been that the European Union stands by India as friends and partners. And I want to focus on the other topics. Indeed, of course, our joint focus continues to be on slowing the spread of the virus worldwide and saving lives. But we've also discussed the necessary steps to modernize the global economy. And there, of course, climate action and the green transition must be at the heart of our economic recovery, both in the European Union and in India as well. You know that the European Union has committed to its European Green Deal. However, we are completely aware of the fact that at the global level we will not make a difference unless we work with partners like India. And therefore we explained our objective to reach climate neutrality by 2050, to modernize our industries, to rethink our energy mix. India is very strong on solar energy, for example, to engage in a circular economy, and to ensure that the transition is just and fair for all our citizens. we strengthened the fact that our global economic recovery provides us with a huge opportunity to invest now in modern, in clean and in healthy economies, allowing us to reach long-term climate goals. And we raised with Prime Minister Modi, of course, the fact that this means making tough choices, such as phasing out of coal, but it is a unique opportunity now to step forward. So very good is that we agreed that we will be able to convene a specific climate change dialogue. This is a nice deliverable of this summit, to discuss in this climate change dialogue how to strengthen our cooperation in the areas of solar power, in the area of offshore wind energy, resource efficiency, and of course the circular economy. Another topic was the digital transformation. India is a natural partner for the European Union in this respect. We share a human-centric approach. This means using secure digital technologies to improve the quality of life of citizens, but at the same time respecting privacy and individual freedoms. And our cooperation with India in this area is already flourishing, but there is still a huge potential for stronger cooperation. So I confirm to Prime Minister Modi our willingness to share our experience in data protection legislation. We think that a convergence of standards would greatly facilitate the data flows between us. Likewise, we are looking forward to engaging with India on the deployment of trustworthy artificial intelligence. India has hundreds of thousands of highly qualified graduates in the digital and the computing sectors every year. And if we can bring together our complementary resources and the opportunities, we can achieve much more. The same goes for developing common global standards when it comes to secure 5G deployment or our joint work on high-performance computers. All these have been topics we've been discussing during the summit. And a third point I want to focus on is trade and investment. Of course, as with all global supply chains, avoiding market access barriers and ensuring fair and transparent competition remains essential. We raised that topic too. I have proposed to the Prime Minister that we engage in a high-level EU-India digital investment forum in which our business leaders can discuss concrete opportunities for cooperation and issues of concern. And today, indeed, has given us an opportunity to address the untapped potential of our trade relationship, as Charles just mentioned. The European Union and India are two of the largest economies and markets in the world. About 6,000 European companies are present in India. The European Union is India's largest trading partner and is the largest investor in India. Yet our overall trade and investment relationship has by no means reached its full potential. And therefore, it is very positive that today we have established a high-level trade and investment dialogue. So on the level of the minister and the respective commissioner here at the European Union's level. It will address multilateral issues, and it will look to advance towards both an investment protection and trade agreements. We want an ambitious trade agreement. We are not there yet, but with this high-level trade and investment dialogue, we hope to advance things and to promote our common interest in moving forward towards a free trade agreement. It needs to include our usual requirements in terms of market access and public procurement and, of course, sustainable development, so there is still a way to go. Let me conclude by stressing indeed that the European Union and India are the world's largest democracy, and we must work more closely to promote and protect our shared interests based on effective multilateralism, based on the rule of law and human rights. And in this context, we welcomed India's recent election as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council and as chair of G20 in 2022.
Thank you, Madam President. For the Q&A session, may I please ask you to turn on your cameras, switch it on. Thank you. And raise your blue hand if you want to raise a question to the Presidents. I have a first question from Siddhant Sibal. Could you please state your medium as well and clearly say whom you want to address your question to, please?
Anyone can answer this. I'm Siddhant from Beyond. My question to you is on the issue of Chinese aggressiveness. Was that discussed during the summit? We know that recently there was an incident between India and China at the border. So how much that was discussed between the European leaders and, of course, the Indian leaders?
Thank you.
Yes, we discussed this topic, and probably you know that a few weeks ago we had a video conference, a summit by video conference with the Chinese authorities. And as you know, the relationship between the European Union and China is complex. We need to tackle different issues, different topics, and indeed we are in favor of a peaceful solution. Prime Minister Modi had the occasion also to inform us about the latest developments regarding this incident with China, and we support all the efforts in order to maintain a channel of dialogue in order to find peaceful solutions.
Next question is for David Carretta, Radio Radicale. David.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. David Carretta, Radio Radicale, Italian radio. A political question, if I may. Is India more strategic for the EU than China? Thank you.
Il est certain que nous avons l'ambition, nous l'avons exprimé depuis le lancement de ce nouveau terme institutionnel au mois de décembre, de jouer un rôle plus marqué sur le plan international comme Union européenne. Et en ce sens, il nous semble effectivement important de maintenir un dialogue, d'aborder la manière de renforcer des partenariats avec un certain nombre de pays dans le monde. Et vous savez que l'Inde et l'Union européenne, nous l'avons dit, sont deux démocraties avec des traditions de valeurs démocratiques, de respect pour l'état de droit, de respect pour le multilatéralisme. Et nous voyons que dans beaucoup de domaines, il y a un potentiel que l'on peut développer davantage encore, que ce soit en matière commerciale, en matière économique, que ce soit dans le cadre du changement climatique et de la question digitale, qui sont tellement essentielles pour la transformation du projet européen. La présidente de la Commission a expliqué les propositions concrètes que nous avons faites pour amplifier la coopération sur ce terrain-là, sur ce sujet-là, ce qui est extrêmement important. Et puis nous considérons que sur le plan politique, comme vous l'avez mentionné, l'Inde est un partenaire parce que nous défendons effectivement une vision de la globalisation, une vision du monde qui est inspirée de standards démocratiques, de principes de liberté, de principes qui sont fondés sur l'inclusivité. Par ailleurs, vous le savez, l'Inde exercera la fonction de membre non permanent du Conseil de sécurité pour la période 2021 et 2022. Exercera aussi la responsabilité de présidence du G20 en 2022. Et nous voyons que sur tous les sujets que nous abordons, il y a une réelle valeur ajoutée à coopérer ensemble pour tenter de rapprocher nos points de vue afin d'avoir une influence dans le monde qui est inspirée par les valeurs dans lesquelles nous croyons comme Union européenne.
Indeed, China and India are both important to us, but both are very different. And if you look at the topics we have with China and with India, common interest what the fight against climate change is concerned. This is very important. China and India are very important if we want to be successful in the fight against climate change. With both, we have strong trade relations, but on very different fields. We have reinforcing in common interest, and on others we have issues. But the difference is indeed that we share with India that we are democracies, and therefore I can relate to what Charles Michel said concerning the democracies and defending our values.
I will take another question from an Indian journalist, Smita Sharma. Can you hear us, Smita?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Could you raise your volume just a little bit?
Is it clear now?
Yes.
Just one follow-up question, because, there have been some intelligence reports from other countries that have spoken about the number of the number of Chinese soldiers who were killed in the Galwan clashes. Does the EU have any input you may have shared on this? Is your assessment that now you do see a de-escalation happening, or there is a possible flare-up that may still happen across the LAC between India and China? And a last question, because you spoke about the shared principles of democracies, with the Citizenship Amendment Act protests and, the way India has rounded up activists, many of them are still in jail for having protested against the amendment. Is that something that came up in your talks today? Thank you.
Maybe two answers. So the first one, I don't venture in this direction. We had the occasion, like I said, with the Prime Minister, to have some information about this incident, and I would like to repeat that for the European Union it's important to encourage all the positive efforts, all the constructive dialogue in order to reach peaceful solutions. About the legislation regarding the citizenship, you know that in the European Parliament it was an important topic the last week, the last month, and we had the occasion also today to raise this topic with the Prime Minister. And I would like to say that we trust the Indian institutions. We understand that the Supreme Court will have a role to play in order to assess this legislation, and we took the decision with the Indian authorities to continue a strong dialogue on the question of human rights, which is very important for us and for India, in order to exchange good practices and to have the best possible understanding about how we tackle these important issues for India and for the European Union.
Thank you. This concludes our press conference of today. Thank you for joining, and please consult our joint declarations on our websites. Thanks again.